another edition of the number one podcast. I am your host, Coach Jake. Whew, what a tough, busy couple weeks for me. Hope you guys are doing good, man. What's up, Benja? Well done. Pure Slight, Francisco, all you guys out there in the audience, man, give me a shout out. I'm going to try to bring up the chat so I can see you guys. If you want to, just send me some sort of, a number one to see if you're actually engaged. What's up? We got Carmen already. We got Canada. Sail Away AB. What's up? We got Den Mahadi. What's up? Catch Jedi. What's up, Will? New Mexico in the house. Give me a number one. Lots of big stuff going on. Man, we are 25 days until the election. I am not a fan of politics. I think politics is trash. I think voting is like betting on pro wrestling. I think it's stupid. I think it's a work, most of it. I don't vote for a candidate. I am definitely against Kamala. I am not a Trump humper. I don't feel like my interests are being represented. I look at this again like I look at pro wrestling. I wrote that ages ago. Jesse Ventura picked it up. Politics is pro wrestling. I said that back in 2007. Published it in a book in 2009. So what's up, guys? Listen, so 25 days until the election. I want to talk about all kinds of stuff. I want to talk about the election. I want to talk about wrestling. Catch Jedi says it's a work until it turns into a shoot. Well, yeah, that's the problem, right? It's a work amongst them, but then it's a shoot on us. That's the deal, dude, for real. I just never feel represented by this crappy choice. The only guy I liked, and this is just my opinion, I don't care, dude. I liked RFK Jr. I thought that guy was dope. So I guess, I have to lean towards Trump, but I'm not a fan of Trump. But it is what it is, dude. Like I think that that RFK guy, and then he's got Tulsi Gabbard, and then Elon Musk is going to be in the cabinet. So I guess what I hear is that Ukaipa MMA, what's up, brother? I hear that Joe Rogan is going to have Trump on right before November 25th. That should break the internet. I saw that on X. If you guys are on X, Terry says Luthez is king. Okay, I mean, Luthez is a badass dude, awesome guy. I regret that I was never met him. I'm friends with his protege, Mark Fleming, out of Virginia. I think he's in Virginia still. Anyway, yeah. So Will says, let's do it again. Billy for president. Yeah, dude. You guys would if Billy Robinson ever had become president of the United States, you guys would all be very good, excellent wrestlers. Because he'd make it. He'd make it do it again, do it again. Anyway, so I'm curious, man. Who are you voting for? Like I said, I basically always vote for the Bill of Rights. So this is the funny thing about me. I'm a little bit, when I get into something, I go deep. Did that with Catch Wrestling. I've done that with Grant Cardone, number one coach for Grant. But with politics, I do the same thing. I'm apolitical as a result. I think it's gross. I think it's, again, politics is pro wrestling, or, voting is like betting on pro wrestling. I think it's nonsense. But I do want to promote and help the candidate that is best for the Bill of Rights, right? I'm not even a huge fan of the Constitution. I think the Constitution's got holes. I liked, if you study history, there's a group called the Anti-Federalists. So there's the Federalist Papers, right? If you go see Hamilton, that musical, that's kind of about that. Well, there was the Anti-Federalists, and they came up with the Bill of Rights. They wouldn't ratify the Constitution unless, hey, dude, you got to pass this stuff. Freedom of speech, freedom to self-defense. This is a whole self-defense sport that we're doing. Freedom of privacy, right, states' rights, jury trial, all that stuff in the Bill of Rights. That's all I care about. The fact that Trump's bringing in Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek, Elon, and RFK. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. Even as much as I don't like Trump, Kamala is like straight evil, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's all work. I think it's the same as Stone Cold versus The Rock or whatever. But anyway, remember the 5th of November. So I don't know if voting matters. That's the propaganda, is that it matters. But I kind of feel like if you buy a ticket, then you got to take the ride. People say, like, if you don't vote, you can't complain. I'm like, no, that's the only way you can't complain, because unless they put none of the above on the ballot, I'm not represented. The closest, though, I think, is RFK. I'm an old Ron Paul type guy, Dennis Kucinich on the left, Ron Paul on the right. Kind of that merger is where I'm at. I tend to prefer small business, small government, all that kind of stuff. I think there's corruption that happens when things get certain size. That I think the same thing happens in wrestling, right? If we look at pro wrestling, once it got big, it got corrupt. That's how Carl Gotch used to tell me straight, right? I used to actually have direct conversations with Carl. He was my mentor for years. And he was like, man, as soon as it got big, it got corrupt. And I see that happen systematically across almost anything that has to do with humans and as an organization or institution or whatever. What are your guys'? Throw up in the chat. Everybody throw in who you're going to vote for. I just like to see it, man. Just you can put a T or a K or whatever. Or the Libertarians got Chase Oliver. That guy's got nothing. I don't know him. He's got no charisma, no marketing. It's going to do nothing. We had somebody like Gary Johnson almost get 5% of the vote years ago, right? New Mexico governor. Will might remember that guy. Bradley Beamer throwing up a DT. Yeah. So anyway, dude, we got to do something, though. We got to do something. And this is the thing, is like voting. Will's got a Trump. So we got 2 DTs, man, 2 Donald Trumps coming up. Just curious, man, because, then we see the news, which is a bunch of propaganda, right? I'm still waiting to see anybody who they're voting for, who they want. Maybe you're out of the country. We got a lot of viewers out all around the world. Who would you prefer, the D or the K? Anyway, you guys see my hat? It's backwards for Instagram, but you guys can see it. Don't be a little like that. So I just want to give you some cool updates too, man. We got so much stuff cooking. Throw up, Punchy Facey, what's up? Carmen says Trump over Trudeau. Oh, dude, Trudeau. Castro Jr. Dude, what a best. Dude, everybody's throwing up D's. Is there anybody voting for Kamala? This is the thing, man. With the corruption, and the reason I think it's a work is because, well, first of all, they give you a false choice. Second of all, now, of course, I do like that RFK is in the mix. That's huge for me, RFK Jr. But I think it's a false choice, right? Like, none of those guys, none of them really represent me. What's up, Mr. Mace, man? Got Rick Brown. So, yeah, you guys keep throwing them up. Throw up D's, T's. I'm going to count this crap and see what the actual numbers are like. Now, so much crazy stuff happening. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying to project as much as I can. But so much crazy, cool stuff happening. I just got back from the state of Missouri. I was in Jefferson City in the state of Missouri. And I was invited out there. I've been running these camps. I've coached thousands and thousands of athletes. And amongst those thousands of athletes, there are hundreds, say, of law enforcement people that come to train because they have to study this stuff, effective things that work from the lab, from wrestling. Will says he can hear me. Thank you, sir. So these law enforcement guys are serious about this. And again, the media, obviously, I don't think anybody is a fan of police brutality, even law enforcement. So I was engaged by one of my students. He's been with me probably 5 or 6 years. His name is Deputy Coates. He's a sheriff, a deputy sheriff out in sergeant. I'm sorry. With the sheriffs out in Missouri, and he's been training with me forever, and he's been applying all the catch-as-catch-can stuff. One of my premises was we know that there's like all this Gracie DTAC and the pressure point and pain compliance DTAC from Bruce Siddle, all that stuff. Well, that's causing problems because what happens is it doesn't really work. And then it causes escalations, or in the case of the Gracie stuff, you choke people and people are dying. People are dying, okay? And it gets on a body cam or it gets on a cell phone, and then it's a breach of trust. It's just a bad situation. So one of the things that Sergeant Coates and I have been working on for years is how do we apply this? Because my premise has been that wrestling is the premier, not just style for UFC, but also for law enforcement, because pinning is a low liability form of control and a great place to set up cuffing. Same with double wrist locks and hammer locks, which are bread and butter moves for catch, in addition to the takedowns. You control the takedown. So we ran with that. Carmen says hammerlock series. Yeah. So we ran with that and we developed a whole DTAC. Now, when I went out to the Missouri Sheriff's Association, I'm actually instrumental, Catch as Catch Can, and my studies from Wade, Frank Shamrock, Carl Gotch, Billy Robinson, all that stuff that I've been gathering and putting together to teach you guys and share with you guys and integrating. We were able to put that together into a really great curriculum for the Missouri Sheriffs that were rolling out huge, right? So super exciting. In particular, because like I said at the top of this with all the voting stuff, I'm a huge fan of the Bill of Rights. And so I'm always looking for those advocates within law enforcement that are going to help us as citizens enforce our rights, right? Not the other guys that are going to do what Kamala says or whatever. Like, we hear these controversies about FEMA giving people a hard time trying to deliver goods. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. You just hear about it. But the people that are constitutional and the sheriffs are very aligned with this sensibility. Because they're elected, unlike the police, which is like appointed, like a bureaucrat appointed by the mayor, which is like once removed from any kind of control from the citizens. The sheriff is directly elected, and they have very interesting power to enforce the Constitution of the United States. Like they're a very, very great law enforcement group, in my opinion. So I'm just proud to be working with those guys. Super excited. That was huge for me. That was historic. I think it's the first time, maybe ever, where formally Catch as Catch Can specifically was being used in law enforcement for low liability detention and control and arrest of suspects for cuffing. So super huge. So excited for that coming up, man. Will says it surprised me how most police do not know any basic wrestling holds. Yeah, so what happened was day one, we went through a bunch of police brutality videos, and it was so enheartening for me as a citizen to be kind of a fly on the wall, hearing all these sheriffs, deputy sheriffs from all around the state, disgusted and upset and saying, hey, that person who's abusing power should probably be in prison. That was really amazing to hear. And of course, wrestling is the way to do it, right? Wrestling is the way to do this. So anyway, I've got to kind of cut it short. I've got a 1:30 appointment here, which is like 10 minutes from now, but I want to give you updates. So we're doing great stuff with the Missouri Sheriffs. We ended up bumping CatchCon. So, I'm aggressive. I was like, we're doing this November 1st. I found out the hard way, and this is from your guys' feedback. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Terry says they got Steven Seagal. That guy is such a putz, dude. Gene LaBelle guy here. Anyway, CatchCon, we got so much pushback. Thank you for the communication as well. That we were competing. It was too much pressure to get people out to Colorado, to Genesis MMA here in Arvada, Colorado, where I'm at, which is the top 5 MMA gym. It's got the first UFC octagon. It's huge. It's amazing. And we're going to train there. But it was too aggressive. So we pushed it, talked to some friends, figured out, hey, you know what? Best day to do this is February 21st through 23rd, 2025. It's the new official dates. If you go to catchcon.us, catchcon.us, go to that URL, has the whole list of everything you're going to get. The 21st through 23rd of February 2025 It is going to be insane. Insane. Pat Miletich. We have a UFC Hall of Famer, Pat Miletich, welterweight champ, coached 12 world MMA champions. Okay. We've already been doing work with Pat. Super excited. Got Wade Chalice, who we've been working with for 20 years. The planet's best pinner. You guys have to understand this, dude. If you're serious about wrestling, whether it's catch as catch can, folk style, or freestyle, pinning is the key. That's the end game. I mean, okay, don't do this push out bullshit, this out of bounds bullshit, or even points. But be real. Pinning is where it's at. Wade's the guy. So we got UFC Hall of Famer, the greatest pinner ever. And then I'm super stoked. One of my coaches who never does stuff like this. Never does this. You guys have to get this alone is worth the entire price. Frank Shamrock, my coach. He listed me as a resource in his MMA for Dummies book. Just a great human being too. He's coming to CatchCon to coach. Then, as if that's not enough, we've got all the other Scientific Wrestling Elite coaches coming. Okay, this is going to be huge. So, and, okay, so so you come, you're like, great, I get to go to Genesis MMA, top 5 globally ranked MMA gym. It's like where Rose Namajunas trains, Justin Gagey, okay? This is a dope place. Got the very first UFC. Just that alone is so cool. Then you're going to get Hall of Famers, Guinness record holders, like the best in catch wrestling content. Champion. I mean, dude, non-disputed. Like, no performance enhancing drugs, no controversy. These are the GOATs. Okay. And then you're going to have all of the Billy Robinson trained guys are going to be there. Then every person that signs up, catchcon.us, every person that signs up gets the adjustable weight mace made by Adex, ADEX. Check it out. Every single person that registers for CatchCon is going to get a mace. That's like a $180, I think it's a minimum $180 value right there. Boom. Because I'm going to certify you. So you're going to get your catch certification, which will count towards your Scientific Wrestling Assistant Coach certification. You're going to get a mace certification. These are both things you can take back as a return on your investment and make your money back. And you're going to have a mace that's a loadable. You can change it from like no pounds to 10 pounds to 100 pounds, whatever. I don't know the top anyway. Okay. Mason says, how do we get that on the plane? Dude, you're going to have to figure that out. I'll try to help you guys. You're going to have to ship it probably, bro, back. Or it'd be one of your carry-ons, right? The people take skis and stuff. So you're going to have to, we'll work that out. We'll help you figure all that out. Don't worry about it. So the best instruction, like overload, dude, you're going to have 9 or 10 coaches. You're going to be in a top MMA gym. You're going to be getting certified in both catch as catch can and Mace Fitness. And it's not me. It's actually my number one student in Mace, Rick Brown, who is known as Mr. Mace Man. This guy has traveled the world. In fact, they flew him to India. People in India were like, dude, teach us our own shit. Brought him out. Legendary, dude. Okay. And then, because it's me, so I got to make this ridiculous, like stupid. If I'm telling you, it is truly stupid if you don't do this. Because these events, how many of you guys missed out on a chance to train Dick Cardinal, Fujiwara, Billy Robinson? I'm telling you, dude, I do big shit and I only do it once or twice. You're missing Terry 9283. So pinning is king. Hey, dude, judo, folk style, freestyle, catch as catch can. Hey, even all the top like guys in grappling ripping us off have pinning DVDs now. That's because of us, dude. This shit was not even spoken of in jiu-jitsu. Leg locks, pinning, all that stuff is a direct result of our effect. We are the source, guys. We're not, and not everybody knows this. So stop being a herd follower and be an innovator. That's what we do. Show up, get in the room. Now here's the juice. And you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. This is just something I'm adding for you guys. We're also running a King of Catch tournament and a Shoot Pro tag tournament. Over 80, under 80 kilo for the catch singles, King of Catch singles matches, and a tag team tournament with Shoot Pro. $1,000. So you'll make money if you win. And you don't have to. You can just come and watch. It's cool, but it's included. Okay. We have rates that if you bring 3 or more guys, it brings the price down ridiculous. There is not a better value. This is the cheap for all you. Oh, it's too much money. This is the cheapest fucking thing you will ever attend in terms of value. You got to figure it out, and figure it out, people. I timed it so it's after Christmas. Maybe, some of you losers can have your mom and dad give you some Christmas money. Maybe some of you guys could stop being a little bitch and go out and hustle and make some money, dude. Provide value in the world so you can pay for the things that matter to you. Okay. And support our mission, dude. We've done great things over the last 20 years, helping, literally saving lives now with our work in law enforcement. Improving lives by helping people with all of the personal development that comes from wrestling, the way Carl and Billy passed it on to scientific wrestling. Nobody else. Scientific wrestling. You see somebody throwing Billy's picture on their site and it ain't scientific wrestling, fraud. They're jumping on shit and he never endorsed them. I can prove it, dude. They can't prove it. I can prove that they passed it to us. They can't prove it. Stop dicking around. Stop going with the low end shit. Come to the best. I provide the best value. All right. All right. I'm going to jump off. You guys need me. Hit me up in the DMs. Message me. Get over to catchcon.us. Okay. Catchcon.us. Crazy stuff. Oh, and the other thing, man. The other thing, this all is going to lay the work. I'm going to make it right now. I'm just making this up right now. I'm going to do it. Anybody who signs up to be an affiliate, the Scientific Wrestling Affiliate Fight Gym program, you can go to scientificwrestler.com. If you sign up and just pay the down payment, okay, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to CatchCon. But you got to DM me. DM me. Don't just go and sign up because you got to DM me because there's background checks and stuff. We don't just let anybody into the affiliate program. All right. All right, guys. I appreciate the hell out of you. You have a killer weekend. We will catch up with you. Hopefully, dude, I've been so slammed, dude. I've been flying and coaching and dude, it's just been insane. But I'm here for you. DM